Adillah Muhammad Zain, Senior Lecturer, Faculty of Hotel and Tourism Management, University Teknologi Mara, Selangor, Malaysia. The second judge is Ms. Shafika Amira binti Saleh from SMS Pasir Putih. The third judge is Ms. Fakhrani binti Ar-Rahman from Smart Labu. I'm sorry. The chief judge is Dr. Nur Fazilah binti Abdul Manan, Head of the Infectious Disease Control Division, Sepang District Health Office. The second judge is Ms. Adillah binti Ahmad from SM Sultan Abdul Halim. The third judge is Mr. Yuswan bin Muhammad Yusof from SMS Tengku Abdullah Semester. And I, Aishah Sofi binti Khairul Anwar from SBPI Integrasi Gombak, while the timekeepers are Sharifah Alia binti Syed Ubaidillah Al-Habshi and Nur Amira Alisha binti Muhammad Hilmi. And they are from Sekolah Menengah Sains Kuala Selangor. Now, allow me to read the rules. Each team should consist of presenters and a technical assistant. Secondly, the presentation must focus on the sub-theme assigned to the team. The duration of the presentation should not be more than 10 minutes. The bell will ring once at the 9th minute and twice at the 10th minute. A question and answer session will be conducted after each presentation. Now, I would like to invite Sekolah Menengah Sains Kota Tinggi for their presentation.
Smile. When life moves too fast to breathe, nature reminds us how to exhale. Sometimes the most healing journey aren't about where you go, but how you go. What if the cure for modern stress was as simple as stepping outside? But before that, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to the honorable judges, moderators, and fellow friends. Our presentation today is titled From Stress to Serenity, Explore to Restore. We will be focusing on our background study, methodology of research, findings from our research, implication based on our findings, and an overall conclusion.
Tourism often experiences tourism fatigue, where modern travel promises relaxation but often delivers the opposite. Tourism fatigue is what happens when tightly packed schedules, physical exhaustion, and digital overload turn vacations into stressful marathons. These trends become the source of physical, emotional, and mental fatigue.
Tourism fatigue affects the health and well-being of tourists by causing mental health breakdowns, where tourists are mentally exhausted when going on relaxing trips. Other than that, with 71% of tourists are forced to constantly post on social media, this pressures them into having digital fatigue, which leads to stress and burnouts.
So, how do we fix that? Before we dive deeper on the main topic, let me introduce to you guys what is actually meant by ecotourism. Ecotourism is a form of responsible travel to natural areas that conserve the environment, supports local communities, and promotes the health and well-being for both people and the planet.
Ecotourism can be related with health and well-being by offering the ideas and solutions that it can improve physical health by promoting light physical activities, which also encourage rest and help conserve the energy of tourists. Other than that, it also relieves the mental health of tourists by offering digital detoxes, which gives the chance to disconnect from constant notifications on their phones. So, the goal of our research is to explore how ecotourism can improve tourist health and well-being while also promoting environmental conservation. Two main focuses can be found within this objective, which is the approaches utilized by different companies and the impacts of ecotourism on health and well-being.
Moving on to our problem statement, which are Modern tourism often causes stress, fatigue, and disconnection from nature, at once affecting the tourist health and well-being. This call for a much more efficient alternative, such as ecotourism. Next, regular tourism can make people physically tired. Thus, ecotourism offers a much more relaxed and active way to travel.
To explore how ecotourism can affect your mental health and well-being, we did a lot of qualitative and quantitative research methods. For example, we did some articles reading, literature review, what so on, what so forth, to really understand on our topic. And we also conducted a survey to gather public opinions on ecotourism. And last but not least, we interviewed few experts like Dr. Abdul Qadir Abu Bakar and Dr. Nufahan Rahim to get their opinions on thoughts about our topic. Dr. Abdul Qadir Abu Bakar has mentioned about cortisol hormone. What is actually meant by cortisol hormone? Cortisol is a steroid hormone produced by the adrenal glands and often called as a stress hormone. But it has a various other important functions throughout the body. He also mentioned about Shinrin Yoku. It is a forest bathing method that being practiced by the Japanese.
Based on our research, we found two important key factors. The first one being how ecotourism affects physical and mental health of tourists. From the first factor, we found two significances. The first one is to identify how the government can promote ecotourism to ensure sustainability. The second one being to elaborate the benefits that ecotourism can provide to the tourist well-being. Moving on, based on our findings for the first significance, here is the data that we have collected from the survey that we have conducted. Interestingly, 90% of the respondents agree that they would consider ecotourism if it helps reduce stress and improve health.
Based on our findings, we found that the government can provide financial support and grants by offering grants and low interest loan to help them build eco-friendly lodging, trails, or nature-based activities. Next, the government also can promote ecotourism in national campaigns by including ecotourism in major tourism ads like Cuti Cuti Malaysia or even international campaigns. Lastly, the government can promote environmental education campaigns to raise the awareness about the benefits of ecotourism and the importance of preserving nature through school program and social media. For our next findings, ecotourism offers digital detox opportunity by promoting no Wi-Fi zone that give tourists a chance to disconnect from social media and reconnect with themselves.
Other than that, ecotourism can also create stronger social bonds among tourists, where most experiences are oftenly shared in small groups without devices mostly. So this leads to deeper conversations and stronger connections among family, friends, and sometimes even strangers.
Lastly, ecotourism promotes deeper connection with nature for tourists to develop appreciation for the environment, which help them feel more centered.
Moving on to our second factor, which is approaches utilized by different companies. For these factors, there is two significances. First is to show us how ecotourism can improve well-being through connection with nature, and what the company's efforts has done to improve health and well-being to create a more sustainable future.
From what we found that ecotourism can develop personal reflection and self-discovery, where it offers time away from regular routines, material distractions, which allow travelers to reflect on their life, values, and purpose, such as going on a hike on Gunung Lambak or Mount Ledang. Moving on, we also found that ecotourism can promote mindfulness and inner peace to tourists, where activities often take place in calm, distraction-free environments, which encourages reflection and presence in the moment. For example, a stay in an eco-lodge such as the Japamala Resort in Pulau Tioman, Pahang, which can allow travelers to journal, meditate, or simply enjoy the silence, which leads to inner calmness and mental clarity.
We also find the company's effort to help improve the health and well-being. For example, Econice promotes activities that conserve the environment, such as river cleanup and tree planting. Moreover, Taman Negara also offers tour package, including walking and trekking under forest canopy. The implication based on factor 1, if the government can promote ecotourism to ensure sustainable development, and if the impacts that ecotourism has on tourists are effective, thus as ecotourism continues to rise, its impact on tourist health and well-being, paired with strong government support, can create a powerful synergy that goes beyond just travel. The implications based on factor 2, if ecotourism can improve health and well-being through connection with nature, and if companies' effort to help improve the health and well-being, thus ecotourism can be a natural way for people to reduce stress and live better.
All in all, to conclude, from what we have found, if ecotourism programs can continue offering maintain their efforts, to continue offering calming and helpful programs, and if companies can maintain their efforts in order to promote physical and mental health, mental wellness through ecotourism, so that we can conclude that the life of people can be changed for the better, so better through the tourism industry.
Here are the references used for our research. And with that, we would like to end our presentation with a big thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. However, before we really bring this presentation to an end, are there any questions?
Does the participants have any questions for the presenters? Does the judges have any questions for the participants?
Okay, thank you for presentations. Few questions from my side. What is the challenge that you have during this making this project? And okay, satu dulu. What's your challenge?
The challenge when conducting this research is that we got is finding people to interview.
To find the exact people who is expert at this kind of topic is kind of hard. So to find the people that really have knowledge on this topic, we need to go through a lot of challenges. That's it.
All right. Okay. Good presentation. All right. Okay. By SAKTI. All right. Okay. My question is very simple. All right. You have been focusing on what the government, okay, and the public, the companies can do. My question is very simple. All right. What do you think that the schools can do to encourage, okay, more ecotourism among students? Because as you know, the students are actually the one who's always complain about being stressed. All right. Okay. What's your point on that?
I think the school can make a school trip or even school programs that include with ecotourism. So with the objective to reduce the students' stress and to make them
feel to release their stress. Maybe you know what, students have a lot of stress because of studying. We'll be focusing on a boarding school. SBP students, we have a lot of challenges living in a hostel with our parents, without help. So we are the most stressed students that I can say. Because of that, maybe SBP or school even can make a field trip or any trip, bring us to that ecotourism places. There's a tourist attraction to release our tension. I think that's. Thank you.
Thank you, Sekolah Menengah Sains Kota Tinggi, for that wonderful presentation. You may be seated. Now, I would like to invite Sekolah Menengah SMACH Machang for their presentation.
Test, test. Test, test. Test. All right. Hello, test. All right. Test mic 1, 2, 3. Test mic 1, 2, 3. Test mic 1, 2, 3. Okay. So in today's world, when we are feeling stressed or when we are facing with life problems, we are going to the beach. We are going to heal ourselves, as the Gen Z said, right? So that is the main focus for our presentation today. But before that, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good morning I bid to the most honorable judges, honorable timekeepers, and fellow friends or members on the floor. Before we start for our presentation today, we would like to introduce you all to the title for our presentation. As you can see on the screen right now, Glamping, Heal or Not? Exploring the therapeutic potential of nature with modern comfort. And before we start, I would like to introduce you all to our members. Myself, Azan Shafi as the presenter, Umar Hamzah as our rapporteur, Hidayatul Iman as our moderator, and Nur Anis Ajana as our technical assistant. And let's not forget our beloved teacher Fatin Amira as our advisor. And these are the contents of our slides. So first and foremost, I would like to explain to you all what is actually Sustainable Development Goals number 3, good health and well-being. Well, Sustainable Development Goals number 3, or for the short form SDG number 3, is one of the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. It focuses on promoting mental and physical health of an individual, reducing disease burdens that is faced, ensuring access to quality healthcare, and improving emotional and psychological well-being of an individual. This means that our project explores how glamping aligns with the goal for SDG number 3. Okay, moving on. This is the main focus for our presentation. What is actually glamping? You must be asking, right? So glamping is the term that is come from the combination of glamorous and camping. It is actually a hybrid of outdoor camping with hotel level comfort. It allows individuals to reconnect with nature without sacrificing modern amenities. For an example, if we are going for a trip and we opt to use the traditional camping methods, we are going to have our backs sore from sleeping on the hard jungle floor, right? And during the night, we must fight the attack from the mosquito, right? From here and there, from here and there. It is going to disturb the peace for our sleep, right? So, if we opt to use the traditional camping method, we also need to find ourselves our heat source to cook our food, our water source to drink, and light source for night readings, and many more. Unlike traditional camping methods, glamping provides us with the amenities that we usually use at our homes. As an example, the gas sources that we use to cook our food comes from gasoline, and water sources that comes from pipes, and light sources that comes from our light bulbs as we have in this class. And as an example for our location of glamping sites in Kelantan, we have the Lalang at Jeli. It is actually a glamping location at the mountainside with beautiful views, calm views that would let us wake up with feeling more energetic and calm with our minds. Glamping also let us experience the serenity of the outdoors and let us enjoy mental rest while being physically comfortable. This means that common glamping sites include domes, tents with beds and tree houses. For the outside school of outside Selangor, if you are going to come here, we must pass the Gua Musang R&R station, right? And there is a sign that says the dome. That is actually a glamping location. Okay, moving on. The problem statement for our research is we found out that according to the National Health and Mobility Survey 2023, over 1 million Malaysians aged 16 years old and above are affected by depression. And we also found out that the causes for this is urban stress, academic pressure, digital overload. This means that individuals who lives in urban areas are more likely to be affected by depression and stress and higher stress levels. Unlike the individual who lives in rural areas, in the countryside, with much more greenery, plants, fresher air, and less traffic. And we also found out that there is a need for natural, accessible interventions that promotes well-being. Furthermore, the objectives for our research is actually to assess the psychological benefits of clamping on our mental health and to evaluate mood and stress levels before and after glamping sessions, to understand glamping's impact on dopamine and serotonin levels in our brain, and to measure perceived relaxation and mental clarity. Right now, I would like to invite Umar Hamzah to continue with the presentation.
Thank, thank you, Azhan. Now for the methodology, now we have asked a few members of our school. We asked students, we asked teachers, we asked staff members a few questions based on stress and glamping. As you can see from the research questions that we have here. Now for instruments, we use a questionnaire using Google Forms where we ask the students about glamping and stress. And we even used a pre-test and post-test using a perceived stress scale, or PSS for short. Now for the now for the findings indicate that participants reported reduced stress and enhanced mood and a stress and a sense of calmness post-glamping. Aligning with neuroscientific evidence that nature-based stimuli can positively influence dopamine and serotonin levels, or to sum it up, increase mental health. Now this can be proven as we move on. Now here are the Google form results that we have asked the students. Now for the first pie chart here, we asked them how often do they wish to take a break from everyday lives, and the majority of them have answered with a once in a while. Now for the second pie chart here, we asked them, do they think being away from a busy city life could improve their mental health? Now this one, the majority of them have answered with a yes. Moving on. Now for the third pie chart here, we asked them what makes them feel more safe and comfortable when they're away from home. Now this one, the majority of them have answered with familiar faces, meaning their friends, their family, or anyone they can go glamping with. Now for the fourth pie chart, we asked them if spending time outdoors increases their mood. Now this one, the majority of them have answered with a yes and definitely. Now, moving on. Now for the fifth pie chart here, we asked them, have they ever tried glamping before? And most of them have answered with a yes, and it was amazing. And for the sixth and final pie chart, we asked them, what do they think is more relaxing, glamping or staying in a hotel? And this one, they've answered with both, depending on the mood. Meaning, depending on how they're feeling, whether they're stressed or sad or mad, or depending on the weather, whether it's rainy or if it's sunny. Now here we have the perceived stress scale results, or for short, the PSS results. As you can see an example right here that we have for our respondent 1. Now for the pre-test results, we can see that all 4 respondents, the stress scale is moderate or high. But that all changed when we look at the post-test results on the stress scale. All 4 respondents have a low stress scale, meaning that their mental health increased and that glamping is truly efficient for improving mental health and it is effective for everyone. Now moving on. Now, to put an end to our presentation here, for the conclusion, glamping offers a practical, enjoyable, and effective solution for improving mental health. It can be especially useful in urban settings where people lack access to green spaces. Example like people in the city, like not just students, like workers as well. They are surrounded by tall buildings, by cars, by concrete, and they have to move from here, from there, from here, from there, and they just need to get away from it all. Now for the recommendation here, for the whole entire world, we recommend to integrate glamping into school or youth wellness programs like ourselves. Now moving on. And that is all from us. Thank you for lending your eyes and ears into these presentations. We hope that this presentation inspires a new approach in mental health. Thank you.
And now for the question and answer session. Is there any questions from our members of the floor?
Is there any questions from the participants? The judges, do you have any questions?
Okay, thank you for the presentations. First of all, I think it's a good problem statement.
Yeah.
Quite nice, but frankly, once you get the objective, right? You say that your objective is to measure the dopamine levels and so on, so on. Nothing was shown here, right? So supposedly the objective, you didn't answer your objective.
Okay, so we also answer that question. To assess the stress levels that we set on the objectives, we
Yeah.
actually use this Frsis stress scale, and has been proven the whole wide world.
Yes. But supposedly once you put the objective, you need to answer it. You put in a second objective, you see to measure the dopamine, serotonin level. You didn't measure it. So you know. Four only?
Yes, we actually has chosen four because the Frsis stress scale has many questions, and we actually chosen the four students that has been called in our disciplinary action for their problems, struggling with their family problems, struggling with their school problems like academic achievement that has low, and their co-curriculum achievement that they do not take part.
We also chose them because they just passed their exams, meaning they feel quite stressed.
So only four respondents, and they are the students.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Out of these four respondents, did you by any chance allow them glamping experience?
Oh yes,
All right.
definitely.
Okay. All right. You mentioned here as well. Okay. This goes to my next question. You mentioned in the abstract about interviews. All right. Okay. Did you by any chance have an extract of the interviews done with your respondents?
So the interview we asked using mouth-to-mouth questions that uh, we didn't actually write on it, so that is our mistake. But we actually asked them using this question, and we asked them what is their feeling when they before they went to the glamping session, and during the glamping sessions, and after the glamping sessions. And most of them actually didn't like it first, that they have to went into forest uh, to enjoy the glamping sessions. But during the glamping sessions, they felt that they have been released from the stress surroundings as an SBP student, and they have just passed the exam. And when they are feeling the calmness surrounding of greenery, and they do not have to worry about any problems, and so they feel quite nice actually. And for after the glamping sessions, uh, they stated to us that they have felt more happy than ever, and they felt that they have found a spark back to focus more on their academic achievement and co-curriculum achievements.
We even did a comparison between camping and glamping, and they said that glamping is more effective and more relaxing.
Thank you, Sekolah Menengah Sains Machang, for that wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
As a reminder, only 2 questions are allowed during the presentation.
That's okay.
That's okay. That's-
Now, I would like to invite Sman Satu Purworejo, Indonesia.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone and our respectful judges of Frsis 2025. We are honored to be here attending the event today. Okay, before we start, let me give you a little rhyme. Birds are singing, the skies are blue. A brand new day is waiting for you. Let us begin with a pause. I hope this talk earn your applause. Here, today, we Ecos team of SMA Negeri 1 Purworejo, Indonesia. My name is Janeta, and I'm here with all my teammates. Min Shaluna, Adnan, Elvia, and our supervisor, Missy Mahanani. Okay, in this beautiful morning, we are going to present about the impact of UMBUL PELEM Natural Spring on three-dimensional resilience, physical, mental, and economic.
Okay, so before we continue to our main topic, I would love to begin with a simple question. Do you guys like refreshing or healings? Okay, I believe that we are all need healings. So I have three word. I have a three word: water, ecotourism, and refreshing. What come on your mind if I mention that words? Okay, for me, it is UMBUL PELEM Water Park. Why I thinking about that? Because this place not only offer a stunning natural beauty, but also serve as a space of recovery and fostering peace within the community. So, what is exactly means by resilience, and how? And have you ever wondered how can a small moment in nature can help us to build our personal resilience? Let's delve deeper into UMBUL PELEM and explore how this place can be served as a space of recovery, fostering peace and resilience within the community. Okay, so UMBUL PELEM Water Park is one of the natural ecotourism destination located in Klaten, Central Java, Indonesia. Here, the visitor can experience the sensation of swimming in a pool that fed by natural water that remain clear and well preserved. More than just a tourist spot, UMBUL Water Park also serves as a source of livelihood for the surrounding community. Through trading activity and tourism management, people can earn income, create jobs, and also can strengthen the local community resilience. Here, we as a visitor can enjoy various of interesting activity such as fish therapy, as we know it is good for your foot health, and then there are many pools that suitable for all age groups, and last but not least, they have equally appealing culinary option. Okay, that's about Umbul Pelem. Now we move on to this. Today we live on a difficult world, in difficult life getting harder, and it's also happened in Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, currently Indonesian society face a various of resilience challenge, physically, mentally, and economically. Physically, the life expectancy of Indonesian people is 71.44 years, still far behind the neighboring country at Singapore, which reached 83.6 years. Mentally, the suicide case in Indonesia has increased by up to 60% in the last 5 years. This reflects a high psychological pressure and the law of mental resilience in the community. And economically, Indonesia is still ranked 118th place in the world in terms of income per capita, is around 5,250 US dollar. This shows that our economic endurance, especially in the informal sector, is still relatively weak. In this context, ecotourism such as UMBUL play a very important role. In addition to providing a positive economic impact for the local community, the presence of the natural space like this is also highly beneficial for the physical and mental health in the community. With a comprehensive approach, ecotourism has their potential to become a strategic solution in building a more resilient society. So, based on that, we start a research, and to guide our research, we focus on the key questions that help us to understand the impact of UMBUL on three-dimensional resilience, physical, mental, and economic within the community. This question shape our research and provide the direction to the meaningful insights. So, the main question of our research is how does UMBUL Natural Spring contribute to the physical, mental, and economic resilience in the community? Then, to answer the question, we have set a clear research objective. This objective helps us to focus on a particular outcome and ensure that our findings is contribute to the real-world application. So, this research is aimed to analyze the impact of UMBUL Natural Spring on three-dimensional resilience, physical, mental, and economic.
So we use a qualitative case study method. Data were collected through local community, micro and small enterprises, and management to gain various perspectives on the impact on resilience. We also use Likert scale in our questionnaire. So this is helps to quantify people opinion and expression in impact of UMBUL. We also use some question example for case stakeholders. Based on the result of study, we found that 3.37, the community say an increase in physical resilience due to the tourism side. And 3.32, the community also say an increase in mental resilience due to the presence of this ecotourism side. And there was an improvement in economic resilience aspect, especially in terms of business and job opportunity that came up. The graph shows the highest impact and improvement is in the economic resilience aspect. This is supported by good management and active participation from all various stakeholders, including government and local community, who have played a role in promoting UMBUL. From this study, we can conclude that UMBUL not only provide a tourism experience, but also contributed significantly to building a three-dimension of resilience. Activity like swimming in open natural health improve physical and mental health. And the presence of these tourist sites opens up new business and job opportunity. In another word, UMBUL PELEM play an important role in supporting a sustainable development goals. The recommendation we are offer are as follow. First, it is important for all parties to maintain the cleanliness, safety, and sustainability for UMBUL PELEM, so the benefit can be offered a long term. Second, we also recommended that the government and all other stakeholders supporting UMBUL PELEM, for example, infrastructure development, promotion, as well as training and mentoring from local communities.
Okay, the honorable judges, ladies and gentlemen, I have a quick question. I have a quick quote for you guys. This is from Benjamin Franklin. He said that the real measure of your wealth is how much you put, and then is if you lost all your money. Okay, guys, that's all thing that we can share and explain to you guys, and thank you. If there are any question, guys, from you,
Is there any questions from the participants?
Why we choose UMBUL PELEM? Okay, thank you for the question. So, before this, we have taken research for some of ecotourism sites in Indonesia because there are a lot of them. Then we found that UMBUL PELEM is the one who most suitable with our topic because UMBUL PELEM is a natural ecotourism. The main special from this UMBUL PELEM water park is they don't use chemical materials or something. They just use the natural spring water like that because they are UMBUL PELEM is one of the successful example of the ecotourism in Indonesia that bring a big impact for the local community. Thank you.
Are there any questions left for from the participants? The judges, do you have any questions?
Okay, Assalamualaikum, good morning. Okay, I have one question. Okay, I can only see quantitative result, but you claim that it was an qualitative case study, isn't it? Can you present us your interview results or analysis that you have done?
Sorry, can you repeat the questions? It is not clear.
Can you show us the interview results? Findings.
Oh, the finding.
For the interview.
Oh,
You
the
did interview, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, interview.
Yes.
This. For the physical, they say that let me Indonesian because this is the real answer from the respondents. They say terapi air dingin pukul 5 sampai 7 waktu Indonesia dimanfaatkan masyarakat untuk kesehatan saraf terutama penderita stroke. So there are therapy cool water that is very important for or healthy like for stroke untuk it is
the management say it can be a medical alternative
medical, yes.
alternative medical for penderita stroke medical.
Yeah, and then for the mental resilience, they say they bring their family to this UMBUL PELEM water park, and most of them say that they are very happy and they feel fresh after UMBUL PELEM, and they say it's releasing their stress.
And the last one is economic resilience. So the economic resilience is important part from UMBUL PELEM. Economic resilience is the highest goal in respondency. If the economic resilience can get higher, so the resilience also can follow up the economic resilience also. Thank you.
So let me complete the answer. We also interview the Indonesia we call UMKM. It is like micro, small, and medium enterprises of the local community. So they say that after they join in the UMBUL Water Park, the economic resilience, they feel more, there are increasing of their economic resilience. Like the like they say it is there are development of their
It's difficult moment after the COVID-19, so they join UMBUL PELEM and can grow up their economy also. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any question again?
Okay.
That's all from us, and thank you.
Bismillah. Black tape.
Now, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. I bid to our honorable judges, respected timekeepers, and fellow participants. We, as the representative from SBPI Temerloh, will present to you on how mental health and ecotourism are linked and why it matters for our health and our planet's future.
Have you ever noticed how interpretation of mental health is important towards ecotourism, as our title, Harmony Within, Harmony Without, Rethinking Resilience Through Mental Clarity. Ecotourism is tourism that is nature-based, environmentally educated, and sustainably managed. On the other hand, mental clarity is a state where your mind feels free from confusion and helps you think clearly during critical situations. For those who are deeply care about nature, burnout can be a result from constant exposure to environmental harm. By enabling effective interaction with environment, we can support a better ecotourism.
Modern life is fast, noisy, and often overwhelming. First, mental health challenges like stress, burnout, and anxiety are on the rise globally. The World Health Organization estimates that stress and depression cost the global economy over $1 trillion in lost productivity. Second, many of us are increasingly disconnected from nature. Studies show that 90% of the time, people spend time indoors or online, leading to what some experts like journalist Richard Love call nature deficit disorder. Third, communities that depend on tourism face a difficult balancing act. They need the economic boost that tourism brings, but unsustainable practice can damage the very environment they rely on. Addition to that, environmental activists often face injustice, including criminalization, intimidation, and violence. This underscores a heavy effort to protect nature and urgent solutions for sustainable ecotourism. For our methodology, we use a cross-sectional study design. Think of it like taking a group photo. We observe the patterns and relationship of people's mental health and their involvement in ecotourism without influencing anything.
And as for our objectives, firstly, we have encouraged collaboration and solidarity. That is, we actually encourages the activists to strengthen their connections with local communities and the operators of ecotourism and the government. Furthermore, we also tried stating on what could be done um, by an individual to participate in ecotourism events along as supporting their mental health.
Last but not least, the study seeks to use solacing plans, conservation, and eco-friendly ecotourism. By understanding the psychological and emotional needs of visitors and locals, we can develop activities and programs that promote mindfulness and reduce stress. Designing reflective activities and creating supportive space can deepen our emotional connection with nature.
So, what you can do to encourage sustainable ecotourism? Health first policies. Health first policies means supporting ecotourism that promotes both mental and physical well-being. Second, learning to travel responsibly. Learning to travel responsibly basically means making mindful, thoughtful, intentional decisions to support local communities and protecting the nature. This implies taking a guided tour around the nature or creating arts from natural materials. This help preserve the nature for the future generations, while also sorry this help preserve the nature for the future generation and foster a deeper bond with our environment.
Yes. So the next thing you can do is mindfulness and nature therapy programs. So on a community and global level, we can take initiative around the world. For instance, in Japan, the practice of Shinrin-yoku, or also known as forest bathing, is a government-endorsed method for reducing stress and improving mental health. It is not just a trend, it is a public health strategy. So, in conclusion, small steps taken by many can lead to brighter future and a greener planet. So, what are the benefits? So, The first benefit is a better environment. When we immerse ourselves in a better environment, it quiets the mental noise, improve our focus, and make us better at decision making. It can also affect our emotional well-being. It can make our stress fade. In fact, Dr. Ching Lee from the Nippon Medical School, a professor, found that nature walks can reduce our cortisol, the body main stress hormone, by up to 16%. For the second is it can attract people to join in the environmental justice organizations. So when more people are drawn to join in the environmental justice organizations, the movement will gain strength. This will lead to new ideas, new voices, and energy. This will help to grow and make a bigger impact. So lastly, it is profitable opportunities for tourism sector. So attracting tourists that want to experience nature and help in nature conservation, business can develop eco-friendly tours or activities that protect the environment. By supporting local communities, it can help to create new jobs and allow for the tourism sector to grow.
So in conclusion, mental clarity is focused on the awareness to enhance the decision making, and it could reduce stress. Um, Mental clarity is increasingly vital in today's fast-paced world, and ecotourism actually offers a way to help activists and any individual in the community to boost their focus and improving their mental state.
That's all. Thank you.
Are there any questions from the participants? How about the judges? Are there any questions?
Right. Thank you for the presentations. First of all, you got me when you guys are public heads. Yeah, I'm a public head medicine specialist, so bila kita wow public heads, it's quite nice to hear. But then it stop at your method, then lepas tu there's no finding at all. What is your finding? Your objective represented, method, cross-sectional. I really anticipate some findings, but you end up with a conclusion. So what is your finding actually? What is your result of your so-called cross-section? How many respondents do you take? So what is the results? Somebody lah kan? Ya, dia respon ke? Tak confused je. So mana dia? Dia nak share nak buat apa ni? Saya cikgu tak ada orang.
We've actually made a Google form and survey, but I think it's our mistake for not including it in the slide.
Just tell me what is your finding? How many participants did you take? So I know that you did it. Right now, you did it.
About 40 participants.
Alright. So at the conclusion, what you got it as summary. That one is not a summary of your findings. That is the conclusions. What is your summary of your findings? If you do it, you can give us something.
The summary of our findings that ecotourism really
correlates the mental well-being of uh, our submissions.
Okay, you say from a diverse samples. Can you give us the criteria of those samples?
The criteria of the samples, first we must look at, does it involve ecotourism in the studies? We look for published papers and journals online for ecotourism and its effort, its benefits, its initiatives. Then we look for ways to encourage people to join more in this environmental support.
At a single point of time?
At a single point of time, that means we collect the resources all
At the
together.
same time.
Yes.
Meaning the study of those samples are not within the same time frame, is it?
It's in a single point in time.
For example, there's a research article that you have gotten maybe like 1997, and then you got it from 2010. Is it? Is it correct? So
No.
not a single point then.
What it means by a single point in time, that means we collect all the papers, published journals, all in one time, and we check its significance and correlations.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the presentation just now.
Thank you.
Merhaba.
In an age where screens dominate childhood, we are raising a bold question. What happens to a child's growth, creativity, and well-being when their world shrinks into a screen? Today, we will share our journey to find the answer and to offer a solution. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning, I bid to all present here. Coming all the way from Sekolah Menengah Sains Tuanku, Aishah, Rohani, we are very proud to present our research titled Green Over Screens, Recharging Young Minds. Now, here's what you can expect from our presentation today. We begin with definitions to clarify our core ideas. Then we will break down the problem statement, then our objectives, moving on our methodology, and then our amazing case study, then our key findings, suggestions, and finally, to conclude by reflecting on our whole journey. So now, let us start by defining two key concepts from our title. So, what does it mean by green over screens? First, it's simple. It is a lifestyle choice that prioritizes nature immersion over digital devices as a counterbalance to the increasing presence of technology. Second, now think about this. How do we recharge drained minds? It is by restoring mental clarity, rebuilding emotional strength, and rebalancing the brain's natural rhythms that have been disrupted by the constant digital engagement. Now, let's shift to the problem statement where we highlighted four key challenges. First, disrupting physical resilience. Sedentary lifestyles are weakening children's physical health. Second, learning distraction from TikTok, YouTube, games, which significantly reduces children's attention and focus span. Third, screen time overuse. Prolonged exposure undermines cognitive development, which could develop them to the threatening of their overall growth. And lastly, fourth, which is reduced social skills. Limited real world interaction hinders children emotional development. But beyond homes and classrooms, this issue is now a national concern. Based on the recent data from the Ministry of Health, we uncovered alarming facts. First, social isolation. Can you imagine over 70% of Malaysian adolescents are socially isolated despite being constantly online? Second, which is reduced physical activities. Based on the Nutrition Adolescent Survey, over 55% of Malaysian adolescents are classified as physically inactive. And third, sleep deprivation. More than 1/3 of Malaysian students are chronically sleep deprived, which means they are running on empty. And lastly, cyberbullying. In 2024 alone, MCMC shows that over 8,000 lives were affected by online cruelty. So ladies and gentlemen, the problems makes one thing crystal clear. This is not just a digital habit, but a mental, social, and public health crisis. But now, let's turn these challenges into goals. First, where we aim to rebuild healthy digital habits. By unplugging children from screens, we reconnect them with nature, which could improve their mental well-being. Second, to reintroduce real-world experiences by ecotourism activities, where we encourage students to have stronger bonds with nature to build resilience. And lastly, third, which is to reinforce emotional and social intelligence. Through nature-based programs, students are developing their self-awareness, which is very essential in navigating life's challenges. So now, these three pillars help us to shape our research and directly supported SDG 3 by promoting mental, physical, and social awareness, aligning with our vision, which is to create a more sustainable and resilient future. So now, let's turn our vision into action, where we didn't just rely on one method, but a multi-angle approach. First, we were very fortunate to collaborate with Miss Nurul Baiti, an experienced children camp facilitator who herself undergo digital detoxes. She helped us ground our approach in our research. Second, we ask ourselves, how do we make sure our research is not just theoretical? So we dove into the world of media. We explored newspapers, articles, posters, all to deepen our understanding regarding our research. And then, here comes the best part. What better way to understand young minds than to jump right into their world? So we conducted interactive, hands-on sessions with primary school students to provide us valuable insight regarding their digital habits. To add things up, we also conducted a Google form survey to analyze public's perspectives. After all, they are the ones who will make a difference, right? And finally, we ask ourselves, Isn't it easier to grasp when data is visualized? So we use descriptive statistics, visual data representations, and basic correlation studies to support our findings. So altogether, these 5 methods allowed us to bridge the gap between theory and action.
Now, let's take a closer look at a case study conducted at a primary school, SJKC Sungai Salak, located in Seremban Negeri Sembilan. This school has participated in the Green Over Screen program, engaging students in nature-based activities. Now, you might be wondering, what is the Green Over Screen program? So, this program is an immersive, nature-based learning experiences crafted to rekindle students' connection to the natural world. In an age dominated by both screens and digital distractions, this initiative gently steers young minds away from their gadgets and back into the embrace of nature. Now, why primary school students? Primary students are at a key stage for shaping good habits, making it the ideal time to instill eco-friendly values and balancing screen time for lasting impact. Besides, we want to ignite a sense of wonder, curiosity, and deep respect for the environment. Why this program though? We want to reveal that unplugging from the devices isn't a sacrifice, but a joyful, enriching adventure. Besides, we want to cultivate mental clarity, emotional resilience, and holistic well being through a harmonious balance of screen free moments and meaningful outdoor activities. Students did activities like nature treasure hunt, designing and making their own artworks and bracelets from items found in the nature, learning about various types of plants and leaves found in the forest, and designing their own eco trips. Now, to truly grasp the impact of the Green Over Screen program, we ventured beyond observation and into insight. Through meticulously designed questionnaires, we explored the young minds of our participants both before and after the program. Prior to the immersion, students were asked about their daily routines, their screen habits, and their appreciation for the natural world. This is to give us a clear snapshot of their digital dependency and how distant nature had become in their lives. Then came the transformation. Post-program result reveals a striking shift. Many expressed a renewed eagerness to start gardens, embrace outdoor, and embrace nature-based activities in their learning time. To many in today's hyper-connected world, though, relaxation has been reduced to digital dependency. But is this true relaxation or just a high-tech illusion? Contrast this with nature, the original therapist. True relaxation is not found in pixels, but in the pulse of our earth. Thus, this comply with our sub-theme and SDG, promoting resilience through ecotourism and good health and well-being. Following that, we would like to give a few recommendations to enforce this. First, the government, through curriculum reforms by the Ministry of Education, funding ecotourism and nature programs, and bold public health campaign. Second, society. Imagine trading screen time for scenic hills, supporting local tourism and mindfulness can spark a wonderful shift. Next, schools. Infusing nature into lessons, bringing students to eco trips can transform education into inspiration. And last but not least, the NGOs. Developing a game like Pokemon Go or developing a game that share a similar concept like Pokemon Go to infuse active lifestyle. Besides that, research and youth-focused ecotourism program ignite passion, spread awareness, and lay foundation for informed advocacy. Together, these sectors form a symphony of sustainability, each voice distinct yet in harmonious pursuit of one mission to rekindle our bond with the earth. Let this not be a fleeting idea, but a rallying cry, because when schools, NGOs, and societies unite, the world listens. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, before we end our presentation, we would like to prove the success of our case study with one short video. Thank you all for lending your ears today.
Are there any questions from the participants?
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am from Sekolah Menengah Sains Tuanku. Thank you so much SGS for giving us a very cool and interesting presentation. I really appreciate it. But I only have one couple of questions actually. So I want to ask you, could you please elaborate a bit more on the games talking about your
Recommendation on the
Right.
Pokemon Go.
Yes, exactly. On the on the games that you talked about on earlier, as well as I want to mention games like Pokemon Go that actually cause distraction to students, that actually cause distraction to children, make them have addictions, make them have accidents and whatsoever. Could you please give your opinion on that? I want to know.
Subhanallah. Okay. Thank you for the question. Well, before I proceed with the answer, I would like to highlight that in our presentation, we highlighted a lot about not just about mental health, but also mental, physical, and emotional health, which also help to link with SDG 3 and achieve the goal of SDG 3 itself. So I would like to explain about what does it mean by NGO's role of creating an app in our recommendation just now. So NGOs just not simply mean an organization itself, but also us as a team that comes out as with a solution and initiative of creating an app in order to increase students' immersion in nature. So have you guys ever heard about Pokemon Go? I'm pretty sure most of people present here know about Pokemon Go, right? So Pokemon Go is a fun and interactive app that actually increases users engagement in nature and also provide a real world aspiration to search for the Pokemon. So did you know that Pokemon Go is started to be a phenomenon since July 2016 until now 2025, and they has around 300 million users. So in 2025 itself, they has around 70 to 80 million active monthly users, which is a great number and proof that many people love this game. And most of the users of this game are also coming from children and teenagers, which also link to our case study target, which is students. So we believe that if we implement the concept of Pokemon Go inside our solution, it will attract students to getting involved in nature but in a fun way. And as we stated in our presentation, we wanted to create a balance, not to stray technologies, but creating a balance between nature and also screen time. So this will also achieve our sub-theme, which is creating a sustainable future, because we believe that in order to create a sustainable future, we need to create a balance between technologies and outdoor engagement, because we believe that we need to keep up with technology but not to forget about nature. Okay, so just now you asked about the negative effects of Pokemon Go, right? Okay, yes. Through our research, we have acknowledged a few negative effects of Pokemon Go. So Pokemon Go, some of the negative effects, as you have stated, is addiction and accident. So addiction due to distraction when the users use this app. So addiction is in order to prevent addiction, in order to prevent these negative effects, we have comes up with a few safety measures like time limits, where the app will be, the app will be unavailable from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. in order to not disturb the user's sleeping schedule, and also to keep up in order and also to maintain the user's mental health. And next, another example of safety measures would be the app will warn the users, or the app will be unavailable when the users are coming near any danger, so that the users know if they are in danger while using the app. Okay, and the next one is I would like to also add, how are we going to promote this app publicly? Okay, so in order to promote this app publicly, there is two organizations that involve in collaboration with NGOs, which are government, and also another one will be hotel, resorts, and ecotourism organizers. So let's start with the government. The government, or specifically Ministry of Education, could collaborate with NGOs by providing this app inside co-curricular activity. So in this total, we could totally achieve our targeted audience, which are students,
to immerse themselves in nature in a fun and interactive way, and also at their curriculum marks. So this will attract much more students to involve in this, in our solution program. And the next one would be organizers of hotel, resorts, and ecotourism parks. So organizers could provide this app to customers that came to a hotel or ecotourism parks by providing a nature immersion experience while enjoying their stays. So does that answer the question? Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the team. Thank you all for thought-provoking presentation. Thank you all the judges for your time.